Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. In today's video, I've got two stories for you and both of them have updates. Now let's get started with the first one. This post is from the subreddit True of My Chest and it's by user ThrowerRay34777. My sister claims she caught my girlfriend cheating with a friend of mine. They both deny it. My girlfriend and I have been dating for a little over 3 years. Everything was great until about 6 months ago. We stopped having as much sex as we used to, and I'll admit that was mostly my fault. Work got really stressful and I had some family issues I had to deal with, and unfortunately, my relationship suffered a bit. We talked and I promised to put more effort into us. I do think things have gotten better overall, but I know we both still have room for improvement. Despite everything, I absolutely love this girl and don't want to lose her. Last night, my girlfriend told me that she was going to the club with some friends after work. I didn't think anything of it. They do this from time to time, so whatever. Last night around 11 PM, my sister sent me some texts saying she saw my girlfriend and my friend making out at the club. I didn't believe her, and she said that when she went to grab her phone to get proof, they had stopped. But they were still dancing very intimately and did manage to get a couple of pictures. It made me very uncomfortable. I asked if they left together and she said she didn't know. Here's my problem with all of this. About 4 years ago, my sister told me she had a crush on my friend. She confessed to him and he turned her down. Hard, apparently. He told her she was not his type and she was way too young. According to him, she was persistent and he ended up being a little mean about it. She was really hurt by it and even now she refuses to speak to him. It took her a whole year before she could even be in the same room as him. As far as I know, she has a decent relationship with my girlfriend. They aren't friends, but are friendly. This morning, I sent the pictures in a text to my girlfriend and my friend and asked what the F was this. They both said all they did was dance. I told them they looked really close and that it was really inappropriate. She told me I was being paranoid. I told them what my sister said she saw, and after a bit of arguing, my girlfriend said I either believed her or my sister. I told her I didn't know what to believe and that I needed time to think, and she said, whatever. I messaged my friend privately and asked him to explain everything. I basically begged him, and he hasn't messaged me. Not answering me feels like a sign of guilt. I don't think my sister would lie about this, but there is a part of me that thinks she might have seen an opportunity to hurt my friend for hurting her, or maybe I'm just being naive. I'm really not sure what advice I'm looking for, I just don't know how to go forward. Okay, OP, there's a lot of stuff here that needs to be analyzed. For starters, do you think your sister is petty enough to make this up just to hurt him and in the process destroy your relationship with your girlfriend? That's one question that only you can answer. Now, the other question is, what the hell is your friend intimately dancing with your girlfriend when she said she was gonna hang out with her friends after work? Why was he there? Why wouldn't either of them say anything to you? Like, is this normal? Or maybe I'm just weird like that, but if in my single days I would have encountered the girlfriend of one of my friends in a club, I wouldn't have danced with her, let alone in an intimate way like you say the pictures showed. I probably would have asked her where my friend was, to see if I could get to hang out with him too. And then when you confronted both of them, she calls you paranoid, and when you say you need time to think, she just says, whatever? Dude, your girlfriend is gaslighting you and she's checked out. On top of that, this guy can't even answer a simple question. Your friend can't be direct with you. I think I'd believe your sister on this one, OP. And what do you guys think? Who do you believe? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. My Secret World says, I think it's a major red flag that they said all they were doing was dancing. If it made you uncomfortable, then it made you uncomfortable. That's a relationship. Cheating and boundaries are different for everyone, and if you're upset about it, then they should be respectful and try to fix that. She should not be getting mad at you, and you should not be feeling bad about your feelings. I'm so sorry, OP. This is such a tough situation. Also, did you know this friend was going to be out with your girlfriend? Like, is this a mutual friend or your friend originally? And Opie responds, I didn't know he was going out or that he would be with her. As far as I know, it was a girls' night out. He's been my friend for about 10 years. They're friendly, but they've never hung out as far as I know. Oreo cereal lover says, the fact that they were dancing intimately says enough. Whose girlfriend and best friend does that? It's about boundaries and respect, both of which neither of them showed by doing this. Not to mention, the girlfriend saying, whatever, instead of doing what she could to assuage your fears also says enough. This could be innocent, could be not, but I for sure don't think I could be in contact with two people I care about and are second guessing. Normal Bench 6304 says, you have pictures of them way too close that make you uncomfortable. You have first-hand testimony from a safe source with your sister. A girlfriend that did not even try but said, whatever, and a friend of 10 years not answering to you. If you do not believe your sister, you are very naive. I really hope you won't get hurt being surrounded by traitors. If you do not believe now, you'll probably find out for sure later this, and you will only be blaming yourself for not taking action when you could. There is evidence. They lied to get into a club together in the first place. Per your comments, he is your friend, and you did not know he was going to be out with your girlfriend on her girls' night. Yeah, call it quits. I would probably have trapped them too, instead of confronting them when they could lie. Some sort of, I know, I have evidence thing. I would have liked to see if the girlfriend would have been so quick to dismiss and gaslight you. On another note, bear in mind that her dancing inappropriately with a friend of yours without your knowledge can already be considered cheating in some relationships. It really depends on what your boundaries as a couple are. Additional information from Opie's comments. My sister didn't mention seeing her friends, but I don't know if she knows what they look like. Also, about my friend, he's not always the most friendly guy in the world. We know a lot of the same people, but he keeps to himself for the most part. And as far as I know, they had never hung out alone together. I've gotten radio silence from both of them today. Alright, well, some people are considering that there's something going on here and that he just needs to face the truth, and some people are saying this just is a big red flag. Now, OP just gave us a little bit more context, but didn't give us an inclination as to what he's thinking. So it's time to move on to the update to see how this story ends, but before that, if you're enjoying this video so far, don't forget to leave a like, a comment that of course always helps, or subscribe if you haven't become a part of our community yet. Now, let's move on with that update. So I figured I'd give you an update on what happened, but first, I'm 30, she's 28, he's 32, and my sister is 23. Forgot to include that in my original post. Anyway, they never texted me back. I probably would never have heard from either of them if I hadn't told them I just wanted the truth. They agreed to come over Monday night and explain everything. The long and short of it is that they did go back to his place and had sex, but claimed it was the first time. And of course, that isn't a lie. About 4 months ago, they ran into one another after she and I had a particularly bad fight that I don't remember. And he noticed she was upset. So he took her out for lunch, and they talked about our relationship and me. They exchanged numbers, and she ended up texting him about 2 weeks later after I went fishing with some friends for the weekend. And apparently, they had been texting daily and hanging out 2 to 3 times a week, but they didn't sleep together until just now. So then she went into extreme detail about how exactly I've pushed her away these last 6 months. I told her I thought things got better after we talked about everything, and she claims it got better for about 2, maybe 3 weeks, and then it was right back to where it was. I asked why she didn't bring it up again, and she claimed she did. I told her regardless, she should have just broken up with me and that cheating on me shouldn't have been her response to what was happening between us. She agrees she effed up, but says I share the blame in all of this as well. Oh, go F yourself. I asked her if it was just sex between the two of them, and they both said no. I also asked why they had not just told me the truth when I confronted them with the pictures, and they said they panicked. I asked him if he had anything he wanted to add, and he said he was sorry it happened the way it did, but he was not sorry that it happened. Oh, that douche is a rom-com character. I told him there are dozens of women out there he could have gone for. Regardless of the problems between her and me, he didn't have to go for my girlfriend. She said she hadn't been my girlfriend for 4 months. I told him to get out. I don't really know how I'm feeling right now. I hated them when they walked in and when they left, but now I don't know. I went to remove her from social media last night and she had a picture on her Instagram of the two of them. I skimmed through the comments and some people were asking what happened to me. Some people were congratulating them and saying they looked cute together. So that didn't feel great. I've thought about making a public post about their cheating, tell her family, his family, and mutual friends, and then block them both. But I don't know if I want to invite the drama that's going to cause into my life. Do it. I also apologized to my sister for throwing her under the bus. I didn't realize that I did that until some people commented that that's exactly what I did. She said she didn't care if it meant finding out the truth and getting them out of my life. I'm probably staying single for a while. Some people suggested therapy. Maybe that's something to explore down the line. Anyway, that's it. Well, OP, at least you got those two pieces of crap out of your life. I'm sorry of how it happened, but I'm not sorry that it happened. Get the F out of here, Fabio. That was cringe ass F. And really, OP, I would expose them. Absolutely expose them on social media about how they started their relationship. At least throw some shame on them, man. Come on. Don't be so passive about it. Or maybe that's just me again being the weird one. In any case, OP, here's wishing you the best in the future. Thank you so much for sharing and take care. Now, let's move on to the next post that, like I said, also has an update. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole, and it's by user Throwaway New Ring. Am I the a-hole for forcing my brother to buy me a new engagement ring? I'm 26 male proposing to my girlfriend 24 female on our 4th anniversary. I've been planning this for about a month and I picked up the ring a couple of weeks ago. The one I got was on sale, so I managed to get it at a surprisingly low price. Last weekend I told my brother, 33 male, about my plans and showed him the ring. He informed me that he was proposing to his girlfriend, 29 female, as well. The next day my brother came to my apartment while my girlfriend was out. He asked me if he could borrow my ring to propose to his girlfriend. I thought he was joking at first, but no, his plan was to propose to his girlfriend, explain he was using my ring as a placeholder, and then take her to pick her own ring later. His reasoning was that he didn't want to spend too much money right away in case she didn't say yes. I'd never heard of placeholder rings, so I said no, and the conversation moved on. Then on Tuesday, he proposed to his girlfriend with my ring. He'd taken it before leaving my apartment. I got distracted at work and didn't notice it was gone until his fiancée sent a picture of herself wearing the ring to our family group chat. I called him to ask about the ring and he immediately apologized and said he'd keep his promise and give it back to me. But at this point, my girlfriend had seen it and his fiancé had posted about it on social media. So it was pointless for me to propose using the same ring. We fought about it and he confessed that while he'd told his girlfriend the ring was a placeholder, he didn't tell her where he'd gotten it from. I felt more angry and betrayed about him going behind my back and taking the ring after I said no than the fact that he stole it. I also know his fiancée enough to know she wouldn't like to learn her engagement ring had been stolen from me. So I told my brother I'd tell her the truth if he didn't buy me a new engagement ring. He fought against it for a few hours but finally gave up and agreed. We went to a different jewelry store yesterday and I picked a new ring. I managed to stay in the price range, but the new one was still $100 more expensive. My brother bought the ring but is still accusing me of being inconsiderate and childish. He is insistent he would have given me the ring back had I given him the opportunity, and I didn't need to threaten him to spend so much money on me. He's now refusing to talk to me. I don't know how to feel about this anymore. I'd usually talk to my brother about these things, and it's surreal that he's the one I'm fighting with. I can't tell my girlfriend, and many of our friends overlap. The only other person who knows about this is our mom, who's divided. She thinks what my brother did was wrong, and I'm right to be pissed at him, but I didn't have to stoop as low as I did by threatening his relationship. Am I the a-hole? Well, this one's easy. No, you are not the a-hole, OP. This is all on your brother, and he's the one giving you the silent treatment because of his own stupidity. Placeholder rings are not a thing, and this is coming from a guy who actually kind of used one. When I gave my wife her original engagement ring, a rock fell off. Thankfully, we found it and I was able to get the jeweler to fix it safer next time. However, in the meantime that was happening, I did buy my wife another ring so she could wear that one while her engagement ring was getting fixed. And of course, it was nowhere near as expensive as an engagement ring. But I still think that's not the same situation as what your brother intended to do. Was he seriously expecting you to propose to your future wife with the ring that she had already seen somebody else wearing? And this was actually devised by a 33-year-old man? Is his synapses working? He can't be this much of an idiot. All that to say, no, OP, of course, you are not the a-hole. And what do you guys think? What is your judgment? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Pokinjin says, not the a-hole. What the F is wrong with him? He stole your ring. Does he have some illness or impairment that could excuse this, or is he just the worst brother in the world? And OP responds, he's actually never done anything like this before. We usually have a great relationship. He was the first person I wanted to tell when I first started dating my girlfriend, and I'm proposing to her now. Mobius Stripping says, on the scale of crazy behavior with no rational justification, this is way up there on your brother's part, OP, not the a-hole. Also, there's no way that both fiancés won't find out exactly what happened here, so y'all are better off just coming clean now on how this went down. I hope you plan on telling your girlfriend, well, after you propose, of course. And OP responds, I'll definitely tell her, but only after I propose. I'm considering telling my brother's fiancé as well, but I haven't decided yet. And Tyler for you too says, not the a-hole. Your brother created this entire situation and is 100% at fault. If it were me, I'd make sure all four parties sit down and explain everything. You might as well rip the band-aid off now, cause it's gonna come out sooner or later. It will be much worse if it's later. Okay, well, I assume it's to no one's surprise that the community deemed OP to not be the a-hole and the brother to be out there. So now it's time to move on to the update to see how the story ends. First, the good news. My girlfriend and I are engaged. I proposed to her on our anniversary, just as I planned. She said yes, and we both cried. I love this woman, and I can't wait to marry her. Also, my brother's single. A couple of days after my post, my mom called me and apologized. After thinking it through, she realized that while I did threaten his relationship, my brother had brought it upon himself. She confronted him the next day, and he ended up confessing that he wasn't going to propose until I said I was. My brother is older, but I've hit many milestones earlier than him. He never seemed bitter about it. We've always been close and supported each other, which is why I was completely blindsided by what he did. Finding out I was proposing made him panic. He spontaneously said he was doing so too, but freaked out about picking an engagement ring and devised a plan that, according to him, it made sense at the time. Use mine and take his girlfriend to buy a new one later. The plan was ruined when I said no, so he stole my ring. The new plan was to propose with it, take her to buy a new one, find an excuse to visit me the next day, and discreetly return the ring to my apartment. I wasn't even supposed to know it was gone. That plan was also ruined due to his girlfriend's immediate announcement. He knew that she was going to do it, but not that she'd show the ring. Then he got mad. I made him get a new ring because he'd told his girlfriend he'd get her one too. So, his plan to spare himself the effort of choosing an engagement ring would end up making him buy two. Basically, my mom got him to admit his whole engagement was a panic move. She said he had already seemed embarrassed when they started talking, but was a wreck by the time they were done. She told him to apologize to me, and he called me an hour later to do so. He seemed sincere. Many of you said his girlfriend deserved to know the truth, and I agree. The only reason I hadn't done so was because I thought that should come from my brother. So I took the opportunity to tell him that if he truly loved her, he'd tell her the truth. He did. I don't know much of what he said, but she dumped him. He gave me back the first ring and refused my offer to pay him back what he'd spent on the new one. As some of you recommended, I waited 2 days after proposing to tell my fiancée what happened. She was furious, but reassured me that she loved the ring more than any other. Since the first one was on sale, I can't return it to the store, so we're thinking of selling it. I haven't forgiven my brother, but because he's never done anything like this before, I'm willing to give him another chance. I'm going low contact for now. He'll have to earn my trust back. I really hope he does. I love him and I don't want our relationship to end over what he did. Both my fiancé and my mom agree with me on this. Thank you all. Oh wow, Opie, your brother's planning capabilities really require some development. However, he should focus on trying to regain your trust before he continues to make other plans. But regardless of all of that, congratulations on your engagement, Opie, and I hope everything goes well for you and your fiancé in the upcoming future. Take care, Opie, and thank you for sharing. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out. So here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later. And also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.